What up, tile friends? Welcome back to another episode of the Tile Money Podcast. My name is Luke Jackson Miller, your host. And for the last 4.5 years, I have been a podcaster, a professional podcaster. And in 2023, I am assisting 12 people to launch podcasts. Will you be one of those 12 people? Why should you consider starting your own podcast if you're a contractor, business owner, small business owner? I want to answer those questions for you today. I'm going to give you 9 reasons why you should consider starting a podcast in 2023. I believe this is some low-hanging fruit, and this is a fantastic way to advertise your services locally and to get more leads. All right. So let's check this out. So we got 9 reasons to start a podcast for contractors in 2023. Maybe this is something you've considered. Maybe it's completely off your radar. Maybe it's the furthest thing from your mind. But today, I just want to give you 9 quick reasons, and this won't take long. The 9th reason, number 9, is to explore new ideas. You know, one of the things that I've enjoyed most about having this podcast is being able to meet new people and explore new ideas and to ask questions and to learn along with my audience. You, my audience. Yes, we're learning together. We're exploring new territories. And that's the 9th reason that I came up with for you to start a new podcast, to expand your horizons and to meet people, right? The 8th reason is to be unique. Now think about this for a minute. How many small businesses do you know in your city that have a podcast? How many people in your network have a podcast locally? You probably don't know very many. Well, as a professional podcaster, I can tell you that when I meet new people and they say, "What do you do?" and I say, "I'm a podcaster," they're very interested, and it opens up a lot of conversations. Imagine, if you will, that you're talking to somebody and you say, "I'm a TikToker, I'm famous on TikTok." That's not going to leave that much of an impression on somebody. It really won't. But if you say, "I'm a podcaster," you are unique and you will grab their attention and you will have their attention. And that leads us to the 7th reason to start a podcast in 2023. Open doors you normally couldn't open. And I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about developing relationships. You know, you could invite the mayor of your town on your podcast. You couldn't do that with TikTok. But if you invited the mayor of your town on your podcast, I almost guarantee you he's going to come on your podcast. Why? Because he wants to be unique as you are. He wants to do something that he's probably never done, or maybe he's done it several times and he knows the benefits of being on a podcast. You know, and I'm using the mayor as just to stretch your imagination here. You know, maybe you want to open doors to that architect firm. You know, if you're a contractor and you subcontract or you work with architects, designers, and you want to introduce yourself, but it's a noisy marketplace. There's a lot of tile contractors. There's a lot of contractors. What sets you apart? Be unique, become a podcaster, open doors you normally couldn't open. Invite the people that you might want to do business with on your podcast. You know, invite prospects on your podcast, people that maybe you want to do business with and maybe they want to do business with you. You have a great conversation. They get to plug what they want to plug. They get to talk about what they want to talk about. And in turn, you've built a relationship. Number 6 reason, build a referral network. Now, this is we all know, contractors know the best leads are referrals or repeat clients. So a podcast assists you to build that referral network. Let's say you started a podcast about your town. All of a sudden, you can invite other small business owners, realtors, like I said, people in the office and the local politics, the mayor, whoever, and build this referral network because you're talking about a common theme. You all have a common theme here. I'm in Sarasota. Imagine if I started a Sarasota podcast and started talking to small business owners, people, with museums, people who enjoy the same things I like, people who want to talk about what they like to talk about in Sarasota, people who like to explore Sarasota, get outdoors, different things. And then in the end, they said, "Well, what do you do?" "Oh, I own X, Y, and Z remodeling," or "I'm a tile contractor." And by the way, when you do it in this fashion, and there's several fashions, there's several ways to build a podcast. The one I just spoke of is one where you talk about a different subject other than the thing that your business is actually doing. But your business sponsors your podcast, so you can open it up. This is Sarasota Beaches. I'm your host, Luke Miller, brought to you by Miller Tile and Stone, my tile installation company. You see how easy that would be to get noticed and get your name out there, your business name, while you're talking about something that local people are going to want to tune into. Maybe it's a family-friendly podcast. You know, we talk to families, what's going on this weekend, you know, what's free around Sarasota. All of a sudden you have all these local families tuning into your video podcast and YouTube or the podcast itself. And then they get to hear, oh, there's a the podcaster host is a contractor. I really like the way he or she talks. I really like the subjects. We really have a lot in common. And that's when you build that referral network. Either they're going to buy directly from you, or a lot of them might remember you because they're tuning in to your content. They're tuning into your content so they remember the business that brought them that content. There's also the law of reciprocity. That means that that's all this that I've talked about. Opening doors, referral network, you know, exploring new relationships. That's the law of reciprocity. When you do something nice for somebody, like invite them on your podcast and allow them to talk about what they want to talk about and plug what they want to talk about, they in turn want to do something nice for you. Man, I really like that podcaster. I think I might refer his business, or maybe I will do business with them. The fifth reason you should start a podcast. It's a great way. And I encourage everybody to start a video podcast in 2023. That's what I've been doing for 4 years, pretty much from the beginning. You can interview people from your studio on a platform like Zoom, or like I'm using here, and you can download the videos and you can shorten the clips. So you can extract and reuse the content for social media. So if you did a 30-minute podcast every single week, you could extract 10 3-minute, maybe 10 3-minute video clips, or 12, 15, 1-minute video clips, and have videos for social media for days. You know, you do a 30-minute, 30-minute video podcast, and you have 7 days worth of videos, shorter videos for Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Facebook Reels, all of that stuff. All because you invested a little bit of time, and now you're using your time, and you're using it wisely, and you're furthering your reach based on that one conversation you had. So what I'm talking about is building a system with your social media. You ever feel like you're trying to do all the things and you don't know when to post, and you don't know how to post? You haven't built a system. You don't have a system for your social media. Building a podcast allows you to build a system that you can follow for your podcast. You know, and we rise to the level of our systems. If our systems are crap, we're always going to be crap with our execution. But if we implement good systems and a good strategy, all of a sudden we can be consistent on social media. We can reliably create content 7 days a week. Number 4 reason to start a podcast, it's its fantastic SEO juice for Google. Search engine optimization, Google. Google loves videos as well as blogs. They have bots that crawl videos in order to rank them. And so if your podcast lives on your website, guess whose website is being ranked higher? Because you have a podcast, a video podcast on your website. Or you could turn those videos into blog posts and you can get double bang for your buck. It's a system. It's a systematic approach to doing this. So you're building your search engine optimization. You're building your website presence on Google. The number 3 reason to build a website, to build a podcast for your contractor business is to establish authority as the expert you are. So you're establishing your authority in your space. Now, this would be especially relevant if you chose to talk about what you're doing. You know, you're a tile contractor, you're a remodeler, you're going to dig into those subjects, you're going to interview maybe, or do a solo. There's several things you could do. There's a couple different ways you can approach it, but you're going to be talking about the actual service that you do, and you're going to be educating the prospects. So that's the number 2 reason, is this allows you, again, a systematic approach to education. Have you heard me say education is key? You want to educate your prospects, discussing your trade, educating them the way you do business and why they should do business with you and hire you. This is the easiest way to do it. And it's no ifs, ands, or buts. Launching a podcast is the easiest way to educate people on your trade. And the more of us that do this, locally, internationally, you'll be heard both, the more education the public will have on our trade. It's a very easy way to approach education. So the number 9 reason, again, for those of you just jumping in, was to explore new ideas. Number 8 is to be unique. You know, there's a big difference between I'm a TikToker and I'm a podcaster. The number 7, open doors you normally couldn't open. Number 6, build that referral network. Number 5, extract clips to use on social media, so you're maximizing your time. Number 4 is SEO juice for Google. Number 3 is to establish credibility as the expert you are. Number 2 is to educate prospects and discuss your trade. And number 1 reason is to be the first, don't be the second. Imagine if another tile contractor, another bathroom remodeler in your town starts a podcast, then all of a sudden you're going to say, Luke was right, I should have started a podcast. But now you're number 2. So be the first, don't be number 2. That's the rule of life. Coca-Cola is number 1 because they came out with that dark soda first. They didn't come out with it number 2 like Pepsi. So I'm helping 12 people launch a podcast in 2023. Will you be one of them? Feel free to click the link in the show notes and book a time to talk to me about starting your own podcast. I want to help 12 people in 2023. I'm doubling down on podcasts. I've been podcasting for 4.5 years. In 2023, I'm launching 2 more podcasts myself personally, and I'm launching a podcast network for construction contractors, and I want to help you start a podcast in 2023. So click on the link in the show notes if you want to talk to me over Zoom about why, how, and strategize if it is a good thing for you to do. Talk to you tomorrow.